What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin Bees. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing. I've healed my way out of it, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing, and also to expose the tactics and the methods that some of these leaders are choosing to use. If you are brand new, hello. This is actually part 2. So I want to encourage you to go back and watch part 1 if you're just seeing this video. Okay. If you would like to connect with me on social media, here's my handles. I have a podcast. I have merch. I have memberships available. Do with that information what you will. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on intro and that kind of thing. So we are going to jump right into part 2. This is a video of an MLM leader who is in the company called Pomifera. And she is having, in my opinion, I feel like it's a conversation experiencing cognitive dissonance. And I think it is a very powerful conversation. And so we're going to dive right on in to the next part of her video. So let's go.
Oh, who knows? I'll just see how many messages I get. Let's see. Honestly, I've followed you for a couple of years now, and forget the MLMs, girl. You need to be a life coach. You have taught me more than you know just by being you. Oh, thank you, Kayla. That means a lot to me. I never could coach people one-on-one, though. That's what's exhausted me for the past 5 years. That's what exhausted me for the past 5 years, if I'm being honest. No one wants to pull back she just said this perfect. No one wants to pull back the curtains because it doesn't recruit. It's extremely hard. That's right. No one talks about the bad and the ugly because they're afraid if they do, it'll turn people off and they won't join their team.
I think this is the reason that they don't show income disclosures as well. Because if you were shown an income disclosure statement from their company, from the numbers within the company, and you saw, and I'm throwing out a random number, you saw that the average distributor in their first year or whatever made 0, you probably would think twice about joining. You probably would be like, no, thank you. That I'm gonna look for something else. That's probably, in my opinion, why they don't show that.
Toxic. I done that for a long time, and I want to apologize for that. I knew the bad and the ugly, and I didn't talk about it for this reason. And my little 4-month break, like I literally went off the wall. I started doing yoga. I started meditating. I went to therapy, like all the things. That's where I realized, like, I don't have to work this how I've been taught to work this. I can work it how I want to work it. And these are the changes that I'm going to make to do so. And I don't care if it hurts me. Whenever I step down from leadership, I'm in my team, and I want to clear this up. Whenever I step down from leadership, what I mean by this is I went into my team chat and my team group, and I told them how I was feeling. And I said, I cannot continue to do this and be in a healthy state. And here's why. And here's what we're doing moving forward. We're getting rid of the team group. We will not be doing any more Zooms, no more challenges, nothing, live trainings, nothing. We have this chat. If you have questions, come in this chat. I'm focusing on my personal business and just sharing these products. And I encourage you to do the same. That's what I mean by step down in leadership. I didn't leave completely. I didn't forfeit my team, because at the end of the day, that structure would not be there if it weren't for me. If I wouldn't have said yes to the company I'm with. I didn't build all of it. I will never take credit for that. But I built the front line of it, and then they influenced it down. And why would I forfeit it? I poured blood, sweat, and tears into it. No. And I told them, I absolutely love you guys, but I love myself and my family more. And more people need to say that, because I think what some MLMs teach is that your MLM comes first and your money comes first and your team comes first. And that's not the case. Absolutely not. You come first, your mental health comes first, and your clients come first. That's who comes first. Like,
yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I do think MLM companies and leaders specifically within the MLM company, not all of them, but a large majority of them, if you will, in my opinion, are doing exactly what she's saying. The MLM comes first. Everything else fits in between the Zooms and in between the trainings and the events and those types of things, even though like they don't admit that. She's admitting that. I think it's great, because that's definitely what happens. That's definitely what happens. I'm having a hard time, and we're just going to talk about this really quick. I'm having kind of a hard time with, if you're not agreeing with the team building part of the MLM structure, but you still have a team and you're still making money off of your team, but now you're going to focus on the selling of the product. That's cool. Okay, I get the shift to selling of the product. And I'm not saying she's not supporting her team, but if that part of the structure is such an issue, why participate in that model and still be making money off of your team if you're just going to focus on the selling of the product? I get that she's worked hard for the last 4 or 5 years to build her brand and to build that. I understand that. But if she's building the brand, her brand, and she's selling a product, I'm having a hard time understanding how and why she's okay with making money off of her team if she feels the way that she does. And that's not me judging her. I'm not trying to shame her or anything. It's just me trying to understand where she's at. And I think this is like, it feels to me like one step in, one step out. Like she's kind of like this. She's kind of on the line. I like this part of it. I don't like this part of it, but she's still being rewarded for this part of it because she still has a team. You see what I'm saying? If you feel that way about the structure, wouldn't it be easier to say, hey, I'm not, if it's not about the money, I'm just going to step away from that part and I'm going to step into like affiliate marketing, or maybe like come up with your own skincare line or something along those lines where you don't support the model as a whole, but then you're also not participating in the team leadership part of it that she's still kind of getting paid on. And that's not me. Again, I'm not shaming her. I'm not judging her at all. It's simply me trying to understand where she's coming from. And I think she's kind of straddling that line a little bit still, which is okay, because I was too. Everything that I'm saying is out of compassion and it's out of respect. And I think this is a really cool conversation. I mean, we're not really having a conversation, but we are. And it's really fascinating to me because I can identify myself in what she's saying, and wanting to do network marketing different, multi-level marketing different, wanting to just focus on the product. What am I doing? I'm killing myself here and I'm missing out on these years with my kids who are not going to be kids, forever. I'm missing out on doing fun things and spending time with my husband. And for what? To get on Zooms, to screenshot and tag people on Instagram, to get a bunch of inspirational quotes and, like for what? So I understand where she's coming from, but I'm having a hard time with, if she feels the way that she does about the recruiting aspect of the MLM model, how is she okay? And again, I don't mean this in a judgmental way at all. How is she okay with making money off of her team's sales just by answering questions for them and stuff? Like, if that is such an issue, I would love to see her step away from that fully and continue to speak her truth, Do
you see just the can I be like pro MLM and also anti MLM? Maybe I'll make it like a niche, like just out here, just an MLMer out here exposing MLMs. Is that a thing? I don't know. Anti-MLM will probably eat me alive. They'll probably come for my throat. They are, listen, back in the day, whenever I would like go into the anti-MLM community and I would look at some of their stuff, I would be like, man, I would get kind of offended. Oh, they're so wrong. They're so mean. And now I go to, whenever it pops up in my feed, like on TikTok and stuff, I'm like, that's valid. They actually have a really good point. Is that a thing though? Can you like be like pro MLM and like anti MLM too? That's kind of the space that I'm in. Like that's honestly like the space that I'm in. It sounds weird, I know, but I'm not like out here just outing all the things and saying it sucks and all of it sucks and it's just terrible and stay away from it and it's a scam. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think it's a model that is flawed and it's moving in a good direction. The social selling direction is like the direction that it has needed to move into for like a very long time. And I'm thankful that it's moving that way. If you know what social,
I don't agree with her here. I lovingly disagree. I think that there are MLMers that are using the word social retail, social selling, trying to get around from identifying what they're doing as a multi-level marketing company. I think that it's a marketing ploy, in my opinion. I don't think that MLMs are moving into social selling. I think that they're trying to become like affiliate marketing. I think they're trying to appear that way on social media. You know, if multi-level marketing companies were not multi-level marketing companies, meaning if they were more of a how affiliate marketing occurs, I don't know how I want to word that, but anyways, if it was, I was selling a product, you buy the product, you love it, I support you in the purchase of that product, and the team building aspect, the recruiting aspect, none of that was even a factor. I didn't have to recruit other affiliate marketers or any of that stuff in order to make more money or optimize both sides of the comp plan, then fantastic. But there is always a team aspect in, I don't want to say all of them, because I'm sure there's like one company out there, maybe, I don't know. But in the majority of MLM companies, it's called multi-level marketing because there's a team building aspect in it. And so some of the stuff that we're seeing, social selling, social retail, I know Modere says that, it's because they're trying to get around from being associated with multi-level marketing companies. But what makes them a multi-level marketing company is the comp plan, is the recruiting, is the team bonuses, and, you know, making money off of the team. So I don't agree with her here. I don't think that that's where multi-level marketing companies are moving. What I do think is happening is I do think that people that are speaking out on the predatory practices from some of these leaders and companies, I think that the education around that is preventing people from joining, or at least pausing before joining, asking some questions, doing some research. Whereas before, I think a lot of people were just joining because they were, oh, I believe her. Okay, I trust her. This is somebody that I trust. So I'm just going to join. And then, you know, they realize, well, I'm not making a whole lot of money like I was told I would. So I don't think that it's moving into this direction. I think that there's more education and people are doing more research. I think there's a lot of people that are also being validated in how they're feeling while they are in a multi-level marketing company, whether they never gained any customers, didn't make any money, whatever that looks like for them. I think that there's a lot of victim shaming and blaming, like I talked about in the previous video. And I think that people felt that they were alone in how they were feeling. And now that the anti-MLM movement is getting louder and louder, and by the way, I say movement, not community. Community feels very much, in my opinion, like MLM. There was a whole lot of emphasis on community. I don't know why this is coming up, but I'm going to speak on it. When I look at anti-MLM content, it is a genre. It's an educational genre. It is a movement. It's a bunch of people speaking out about their experiences, going through comp plans and stuff like that. It's not it's not necessarily a community to me. It is a movement. So I don't know. I just felt like I needed to say that.
Selling is, it's basically where like companies are very heavily focused on, companies are now focusing on sales and not the whole recruiting thing. And that's the direction that I am so thankful that it's moving towards. And I will stick around because I do believe in the industry and that we will move there, but it's.
I'm stopping this again because I really do not agree with this. I don't think for 1 minute that multi-level marketing companies are going to get rid of the team building aspect of their comp plan and just selling a product. I don't believe that. Why don't I believe that? Because they make a lot of money off of the recruitment of new distributors. If they're buying some sort of a kit or a package, they're making money off of that, and then they have their products priced so that when somebody earns these recruiting bonuses, the amount that it costs to make the product and the overhead from, in the difference of the pricing allows them to pay the commissions and the team building bonuses. So ideally, if what she is saying is actually happening, an MLM company, in order to step into what she's describing as social selling, would have to lower the prices on their products and get rid of the multi-level aspect of their comp plan. So it would just be on the sales of commission. That would be, in my opinion, true social selling, because you can't disregard part of the comp plan. There's, in all of them, there's some sort of a team volume, group volume type of thing that you get paid off of as the leader, as the top of the pyramid. That's why it's called multi-level marketing. So you can't just redefine it when it's the same business model. So I don't agree with her here, but yeah.
It's just so much has changed in the industry, and like these companies, they've got to see that it's changed, and they've got to be willing to like move with the times and get with the times, but that's honestly where I'm at. And I know that sounds so bad, and like people want to come at me and be like, you shouldn't be talking about MLM like this, it looks bad. And it's like, I can love something and not agree with all of it, and that's kind of where I'm at with it, and I'm like a really bad talker. Whenever it's so funny because all of you guys like say that I'm so good at talking, and I will get off this live and I will seriously think I botched the whole thing and I didn't say anything in the way that I meant to say. Isn't that funny how that is?
I feel like I'm like that after every video that I do. I really do genuinely feel like this is somebody that I could be friends with. She is so level-headed. She is so self-aware. And yeah, this is fascinating. I feel the same way after every video. I'm like, God, I should have mentioned this. Or, I think of commentary after the fact as I'm going through all of your comments. I'm like, God, why didn't I talk about that? Like, that's a huge thing. So I get completely where she's coming from on this.
There's a lot of comments. Hold on, guys. You're on upline. Yeah, man. Gosh. And Kelly, I'm glad you said that, because I feel like whenever the focus is like on uplines, like, oh my gosh, whenever I was really public in leadership, like in my team and my sidelines and my upline and all of that. And if you're in my company, then like, I would get so many messages of people that would just be like, you are so inspiring. I just love you so much. And I want to be like you and all of this. And I'm just like, please don't admire me. I'm just like you. Like, I'm nothing special. I'm nothing special, honest to God. Like, I'm just a normal person. And I didn't even know how to respond. I would get so uncomfortable whenever that would happen. But because I know just from all of like my experience, like I know that I can't make anyone successful. And people put like leaders, like top leaders on this pedestal, and y'all have no idea the weight that they're carrying, whether they like carry it well or not. I carried it well for a while, and then I started getting a little unhinged. Right now, I'm off the rails. I'm gonna get so many calls. People are gonna be like, "Are you okay? Like, do I need to admit you need a straitjacket?" But whether you see it or not, whether they're good at hiding it or not, it's there. And I want you to know that. Look past the FOMO. Look past all of that, and just know that. Just know that it's there. That's all you need to know. And I know that some of you won't listen to me whenever I tell you this. Someday you'll look back and you'll think, man, maybe you'll be me. Maybe you'll look back. Maybe you'll be me in 5 years and you'll look back at and think, man, I should have listened to Jessica Hunt on her live 5 years ago. Maybe. But
I would love to be able to look into the future and see where she will be at in 5 years. I don't think it'll be with an MLM company. And that makes me so happy for her.
all of the things you mentioned doing previously is huge reasons why I left companies prior. I couldn't do the expectations. I want to know where the expectations started. Like, who started it? Here's what has happened is someone has set expectations and it's just like trickled like into everyone else. And then it creates this whole, like, it's a culture, honestly. And if I'm being 110% honest, and I'm not saying this to blow smoke at your guys' faces. I hope you know by now. I've put everything out there. At this point, I got nothing to lose. Pomifera has been the best. It has been the only company I've ever been with that doesn't blow smoke. Truthfully, no, I don't see the mind manipulation. I don't see any of that. We're still growing. We're still like a little baby company, and we still got growing to do. Like, you know, if you're in Pomifera, you know that. Like, we're still just a little baby. And I don't see any of that in Pomifera. And I think that's another reason why I love it so much. Is it's kind of just like, I don't know, like it's just a totally different environment than the whole like sorority girl vibes, cultish thing. Let me speak on that. So
before she speaks on that, as I'm sitting here, you know, watching her and listening to what she's saying, and she's saying, you know, this company is different. She's also saying it's kind of a newer company. I haven't done any like research on this company. I'm just simply reacting to what she's saying. If it's a newer company, that means that, in my opinion, some of the people that have been in multi-level marketing for quite some time have not yet, in my opinion, moved over to this company. When you have huge leaders that have been in multi-level marketing for however many years, a long time, they are going to come with all of their tools of the trade, their mindset, their systems, the way that they know to do it, that they've always done it. You know what I'm saying? And so she's saying, well, I don't have like that sorority thing. My prediction, it's probably coming. It's probably just a matter of time. And I don't know if Pomifera does, you know, sales performance contracts or bridge contracts or any of those things. No idea. However, it's only going to take some of those for the culture within that company. And again, this is just based on my opinion, to change, and for the sorority stuff to be happening, and for all of the things that she's been talking about previously to happen within that company. So that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh, this is the number one thing I hate. And I've always hated it. And it's just always put a really bad taste in my mouth. It's like the sorority vibes of like, I won't get into it because there's something there's an experience I had I wanted to talk about, but it's not the time. I won't talk about it. A lot of companies have gone into the family first concept and preach that concept, but don't actually practice and push the concept in their life. Yeah.
In multi-level marketing companies, your family, as long as you are producing, as long as you are doing what they want you to do, as long as you are chasing that carrot that they are dangling. Maybe that carrot looks like time. Maybe that carrot looks like inner circle. Maybe that carrot looks like 6 figures. Whatever that carrot is that's being dangled, as long as you are actively pursuing that carrot and jumping and trying to get that carrot, you're going to be considered family. I know that stings. That stings. Based off of my experience, that's how that was. And for those of you that are new to my channel, I was a part of many companies, many companies.
I have failed in companies I love because I hated recruiting, and that's what it came down to. So, Courtney, here's the thing. It doesn't actually, though. You always make the most money off of your personal sales. Like, honestly, like you always make the most money off your personal sales.
That's not true. That's not true. There might be some companies where you get a larger commission, but the majority of companies, you make the most off of recruiting. So what she's saying is not true, in my opinion, and based off of my experience. And to Courtney, that commented that I always failed because I didn't want to recruit. Courtney, you did not fail. It is a business model that is designed for the majority of people to fail in order to reward the top 1%, actually less than 1%. So Courtney, if by some odd chance you are watching this, please know you are not a failure. And for those of you that are watching and have felt the same way Courtney is feeling from this video, you are not a failure. You did not fail. The business model failed you. Okay, I just needed you guys to hear that.
So instead of like worrying about all of that, my advice to you, like worrying about like the recruiting and stuff, my advice to you would be like, put your focus towards growing your social media presence, growing your following, growing your client base, whatever that looks like for you. I mean, for me, social media makes sense because you can do it so fast. Like you can grow it so fast and you can reach more people. Like that's how you guys found me. Like, hi, like so I found all of y'all. So like, it's like a jet that like, it's just so much faster. That's what I would focus on. If you're an MLM, get off of the Zooms, get off of the trainings, like get off of all of that and just go focus on you and yours. Stay in your lane. Stay in it. I hope my sidelines don't come out my throat for saying that. But I mean, I love everyone in the companies I'm in. I now represent two. My main is Pomifera, and I just added the makeup company. But literally, I'm not here to grow a team.
What's interesting about this, in my first video of this, she mentioned the makeup company, but she wouldn't name the foundation. And again, this isn't me throwing shade. It's just kind of an observation. In this video, she's like, yeah, I'm a part of two companies, but I'm wondering if Pomifera has some sort of a clause in their policies or something like that, where she can't promote two products in one video, because she's very heavy on Pomifera, but she does mention the foundation, and she just said the foundation company. Not that like there's nothing wrong with it. If you were in affiliate marketing, there would be, if you liked multiple products, you'd be working with multiple companies. But I'm just wondering, I find that really interesting.
Like, I genuinely just love the makeup. If you want to join, that's fine. But like, just no, girlfriend. Like, I is not gonna do it all again. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think a lot of people feel like you, but they are scared to say it. I was scared to say it for a long time because it could be damaging. But honestly, the truth will always set you free. The truth is always the best way to go. I mean, regardless if it's a hard truth or not, some truths are hard truths, and this is one of them. Can you make a lot of money by recruiting a team? Yeah, you can, but know that you're never going to feel stable. And know you're going to be stressed out. If that is your soul, like if that is like your sole focus, and how do I say this? If that's your sole focus, and that's what okay. If the team income is what buys your milk and bread for your family, you're going to be stressed, consciously, unconsciously. If you are someone who is all into the mindset stuff and you come at me with that's a scarcity mindset, I'm going to throat punch you, because I believe in positivity. But I also believe in toxic positivity, and that's something my therapist taught me. I went to therapy. I come with receipts. Yeah, I think there's a point where you've got to not be positive, you know? It's definitely
Yeah, I think I agree with her on this. I think that it is 100% okay to say, hey, I'm having a hard day, or hey, I don't like this, or, you know, hey, I don't agree with this, or whatever, right? In MLMs, it is constantly, you have to be positive. Hey, they just canceled, or they just, they're getting rid of my favorite product, which is my top selling product that all of my customers have. You can't voice that you're upset about it. They're going to be like, hey, we need you to be positive. Like, don't be negative. Okay. You're allowed to have those feelings. Your feelings are valid as you go through life and your day, and your feelings are valid. So in my opinion, that the reason that MLM leaders, companies, promote toxic positivity is because I feel like they're just trying to prevent having to do damage control. If they have a bunch of distributors that are upset about X, Y, and Z and start voicing it, it's probably going to cause an uprising. Maybe a bunch of people would leave. I can't believe they're doing this. And they would leave and go to another company or whatnot. So yeah.
It's one of the more chill. Yeah, it's chill. It's just like, meh, you know? Let's see. Michelle's on my team. Recruiting and lots of Zooms was tough for me, and I didn't feel comfortable doing it. So I stepped back and have just been taking care of my customers and my health. Yes, I love that, Michelle. Same, same, my friend. And this is what I told my team I wanted. You know, I told my team, I said, I want you to be successful, but at the end of it, I want you to be happy. Like, I want my team to be happy more. And I knew, and this is what I think I've said this in a post I made on my Instagram. I said, at the end of the day, I didn't want them to duplicate me. That sounds so awful. And I literally told them that. And honestly, my team is doing amazing. Like, now it's just like, I feel like we've like really reset those like expectations and those intentions. And it's kind of just like, yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like I set myself free, and I also kind of set them free in a way. I know there was obviously some people that were upset naturally, and I don't blame them. And they're valid to be upset because I've done things wrong for a very long time.
I really do love this. I think that what she's saying is really powerful. So yes, she's in an MLM. Okay, we know that. However, what she is doing is she is teaching her team, or creating a space for her team to go and figure out what works for them. So one of the big arguments that the anti-MLM movement has is the duplication, and how everybody is doing and saying the same things. And there's so much emphasis on duplication within MLMs, which is why she said what she just said. And it's fascinating to me that she's like, listen, go build your social media, go take care of your customers. And in order to do those things, they're going to have to go through kind of a trial and error process for what works for them. And I think being an individual and being it's still an MLM, but if you were going to take some of these concepts and transfer them into, in my opinion, a legitimate business, meaning a non-MLM type business, these are things that you would implement in it. So this, in my opinion, is progress. She is telling her team, go figure it out. Go learn, go build your social media, go find your people, go support your customers. Don't duplicate what I'm doing, because what I'm doing works for me. It may not work for you. Go figure out what works for you. And I think, in my opinion, that's leadership, not the fear mongering, do what I do, say what I do, don't miss the Zooms, don't do this, don't do that. Oh, and by the way, if you ever question me, you're going to get exiled. That's not leadership. In fact, I think that is an example of somebody that should not be in leadership. I think a leader says, hey, let's figure it out. Come back and I have questions. So head nod to her, because I feel like this is somebody that really does care about her people, it appears, and wants her people to be successful. And instead of a constant ego boost, like get on my Zooms, don't miss a thing, don't miss our challenges. She's like, listen, go figure it out. I'm here if you have questions. And I really do think that is a beautiful thing.
But I could not continue doing them like that, you know? Oh, yes, my friends, that's my big spiel. Will I regret it? I've been on here for an hour. Good grief. I talk so much. I wish I could have gotten all of it out. Honestly, there's so much more that I would like to say and like to speak on, but I'm going to have to do it in pieces. I feel like there's a lot to unpack with all of that. Just, if you're in, and I don't care what company you're with. I don't care if you're with my company. If you're with my company, you know, like I've been silent. And there's a reason for that. Just because I'm just done with all of that, you know, and regardless of what company you're with, I hope you take this and you listen to it for what it is. And I hope you reset your intentions and you reset your expectations and you release yourself from any expectations that aren't realistic. And if you're someone who you have a team and you're feeling prisoner to that team, I hope you release yourself from that too. A lot of people message me whenever I announced that I stepped down from leadership. They're like, well, how did you address your team? I was like, I was just honest with them. Like, there's never the perfect way whenever it's something that hard, there's never the perfect way to say it. Like, it's not something you can script or you can write out. It's like, you've got to just be honest. And, you know, could I have gone to my team and like blew smoke up their butts? And yeah, I could have, but I just wasn't, I couldn't do that. Like I did not put in my soul to do it. So, let's see. You have to do all the things. Yes. Same. Yeah, I agree, Michelle. And that's how I feel too. I think that's how everyone feels, you know? What does it mean to step down from leadership? So whenever I say step down from leadership, I released myself from the expectations that I had set in my team. And what I mean by that is I stopped doing like 90% of the things that I was doing. We have our chat, like we have a team chat, and people that come in there with questions and stuff and to share things, you know, and I'll check in there, but I'm not in there like I have notifications off, so I check it on my own time. So like we still have the dynamic of like helping each other and being there, you know, and my teammates will still message me and call me and stuff. I'll answer if it's in business hours, but I no longer like have like a team brand. Is that the best way to put it? Like my team was the E3 team, and that was like our brand, and we had like a logo and like all the things. And like, I no longer have that. Like, we're just kind of, what I told my team, like going forward, I said, the intention I want to set and what I would love to see is just, I don't want them looking to me as the leader, as the one to look up to. Like, I just want to be in this space with them where we're all just selling products that we love and we're just here to help each other and talk about, you know what I mean? Like, so different focus. I feel like whenever people are like all into like the leadership things, it's like a massive power trip. And I think a lot of it stems from childhood trauma, but don't get me started on that. Tammy knows.
Listen, yes, yes, yes. I think that when you have, looking back now, when I had a team name, when we didn't have like a team logo, the entire team had a team logo. When you have those things, in my opinion, it is highlighting the leader. It's highlighting the person at the top of the pyramid, and it is creating a space for the boosting of ego. I think that when a bunch of people are doing the same things and there's emphasis on numbers and all of that stuff, and it's all kind of not backed, but it's all under like this team logo and this person associated with the top of that pyramid, it's like they are getting the credit for the work of the people. The way that she's talking about this is, listen, you guys know how I feel about MLMs, but what I am seeing, what I am hearing her say is that she's like, listen, go through the trial and error of running your business in the way that you want to run your business. I'm here for your questions, but like, we're all kind of doing our own thing. I'm here for you when you need help, but like, go do your own thing. When we have these logos and these team names, and it's not anything that I realized at the time. It's definitely been after the fact that I can see kind of the cult mentality behind that, because when you have a team name, yes, it's, you know, it's a culture thing. But if you are your own business owner, you don't necessarily need the team culture. Just run your business the way that you want to run your business. So yeah, I agree with what she's saying. And I think this is fascinating. You guys let me know what you think about team logos, leaders, you know, that have the team names and all of that stuff. I can only imagine what you guys are going to say in the comments.
Your childhood traumas. But I feel like whenever you get into the leadership trip, it can just be very unhealthy, you know, like, and I didn't want them to look up to me as like, worship me and just think that I'm this amazing human, and like that makes me uncomfortable, and that I'm the one that's going to deliver them to their success. And I told them I just kind of wanted to be in a space with them where we shared what was working for us whenever we're selling, and like sharing our wins, and, you know, just get rid of all the fluff is pretty much, I got rid of all the fluff is what I've pretty much done. That's what people have been confused about, especially in my company, because so many people have thought that I left and I didn't leave. Y'all are stuck with me for life. Let's just be honest. I love Pomifera. I love these products. I'm here for the product. It freaking works. It really does work. And I'm not blowing smoke up no one's hind end. It's just these products do what no other product does for me. I am so much happier. Oh my gosh. The day after, so I knew that I was going to step down from leadership for a while, and I avoided it like the plague. And I went rogue on social media because I knew my team would be like, what you doing? Like, where you been? You know? But whenever I did, like whenever I finally addressed them, I felt 20 million pounds lifted off of my shoulders. And now, like, day to day, I'm just like, yep, I'm just here. I'm just like, I still talk to my team, you know, like, I've already talked to one of my teammates today.
I'm smiling and kind of giggling because what she is experiencing, in my opinion, is nothing like what it feels like when you actually leave an MLM company. So she's experiencing a little bit of it, but I know after I formally resigned and was done with MLM, waking up the next day, I was like, well, what do I want to do? Actually, I think what I said was, what do I need to do today? What's going on today? And then it was, well, what do you want to do today? I can do whatever I want. And that for me was like, what? And I don't think I really did anything that day. I think I just kind of went with the flow and was like, well, I'll post on social media, and I don't know. So I genuinely hope that she gets out of MLM. I have found that whenever you say, oh, I'm a lifer, or I'm in this, I'm in it to win it, or any of those types of phrases, you typically don't stay. That's just my opinion. But when she said, I can't remember how she worded it, but mm, I don't think so. I think eventually she will realize, well, I thought I was doing it different, but now I realize that, like, I'm just not okay with participating in a company that hurts people. I can see that happening in her future because this was me. I felt a lot of the same ways that she's currently feeling. And it took a long time to process. Once I processed it, I was like, I can't participate in this. Even if I'm not doing it, I'm participating in it by being a part of the company.
Chatting with me. Yeah, Rob was chatting with me. Yeah. So, like I still talk to my team. We still communicate and stuff. It's just like I'm not so emotionally in that, like not so in. If you're in it, then you know that you're in it. Like if you're in it, whenever I say in it, if you're in it, you know what I mean. Like I don't want to explain it because I feel like if you know, and if you don't, you don't. And if you're just now starting, then you'll figure it out. I couldn't mentally be in it. In it. No, you're not.
Let me explain what she means by in it, because it feels like maybe she's having a hard time explaining it. I think that it's very important that we do explain this, because there are people that maybe they're looking at joining an MLM, or they're in an MLM and they're trying to figure out, well, why do I feel the way that I do? And when she says, when you are in it, essentially what that means is your life is wrapped around the MLM. So, for example, let's talk about some of the things that some of these lifestyle posts and stuff like that, they try to recruit people in, because I used to do it as well. Let's not forget that. Time freedom, financial freedom, be your own boss, work in the pockets of your day, those types of things, right? But it's actually the opposite. So you, just like she was saying earlier on this call, you're creating social media content, you're attending the team trainings, leadership trainings, company events, in-person events, Zooms, phone calls, like all of these different types of trainings. In addition to working with your team, putting on your own trainings, there's no time freedom at all, especially when you're in leadership. You are constantly doing something because you have to keep the plate spinning. So yeah, that's essentially when she says, if you know, yeah. In it means I'll do laundry in between Zooms, or I'll feed the kids in between Zooms, or I'll pay the bills in between Zooms, or whatever. It's like life has to fit in the pockets of when you're not working on your MLM stuff. That's essentially what it is. So it's so hypocritical when I see people that are posting on social media. And again, because I used to do it, you guys, when I see people saying, oh, time freedom, like, I'm so grateful. I'm, getting a pedicure and I can do this whenever I want to. Meanwhile, they're staring at their phone, or they got their headphones in and they're on the Zoom as they're getting a pedicure, not really like committing to either thing. And that rest and that relaxation is really important. And the Zooms, not so much, in my opinion. Like, you're not really learning any business trainings or tips, if you will. So yeah, that's what it means to be in it, fully committed. My life is the MLM. That's what that is.
In it. And whenever I say in it, I mean like in the whole mind F of it all, like in the stress, in the overwhelm, in the chats blowing up. I got to do this live in my team group. I've got a Zoom scheduled for tonight. I've not even picked a topic. I got to do this challenge to bump up volume. All of this, like, no. Now I'm just like, yep, I love this stuff. It really works for me. It really works for me. And I'm sharing it because it works for me. And if it works for them too, then they'll share it too. And if you want to join, then you can do so, but I make no promises. That's what I'm saying. It consumes everything. Okay. Christine said this good. I just love Christine. It consumes everything you do. Yes. Yes. Here's how you know if you're in it. If you feel guilty for taking time away from it, that is the ultimate test to know if you're in it. If you are in hustle mode, if you are in the point of toxicity, if you are in the point of, wow, I need to pump the brakes, is whenever you feel guilty if you don't respond to that message, if you don't open up that chat, if you are somewhere with your family or doing something, but your mind is in work, that's how you know that you are in it. It's the best way to put it. I really love that, Christine. I had to take a year break during heavy pregnancy and newborn stage. Now I finally feel like I can tiptoe back in. Tiptoe quietly,
Or don't tiptoe in at all. Instead, do something completely different. And by the way, congratulations on the baby. That's amazing.
I think the first thing you need to do is just decide what do you want from it. For me, this is what I want. Let me tell you guys my goals. I think it's a good thing to speak them into existence. I want to replace my income that I make now from my team with my personal sales. That's my intention. I know the only way to do that is to get out there and share products that I love. I know myself well enough to know that I ain't going to be setting up on November event, and I'm not going to be doing one-on-ones. So the only other route for me is social media, which I enjoy because I like connecting with you guys. The only way to grow my social media is to keep giving content and keep making content that impacts people and helps people and being honest with people like I'm doing now. So set your goals and then just go along the path that align with those goals. Like, I feel like what happens is so many people, they just, naturally have different goals, but then they think that, well, my activity doesn't look the same as this person's, but it's like, well, if your goals are different, it's not going to look the same. Like if someone's here just to make like $500 a month, their activity is going to look different than mine because I know that I'm going to have to do more to make more. You know what I mean? Like and that's not right or wrong. Like it's not wrong for someone to want to make $500 a month or $100 a month or $200 a month or $7,000 a month or whatever it is. Like there's nothing wrong with any of it. It's just set your own goals, figure out the realistic activity that you need to do to achieve those numbers and those goals, and just stay in that lane, dude. Like don't look at other people and what other people are doing.
Yeah, I love what she's saying as far as like staying in your own lane, building the activity around your goals. I think that is, yes, absolutely. However, again, I'm still having a hard time. Let me back up. I love the fact that she is so self-aware that she's like, I want to replace what I'm making from my team in my personal sales. I think that is the awareness around that is amazing. However, I'm having a hard time with that because she's always going to get paid off of that team. That part of the comp plan's not going away. And I love that she's vocalizing this. I love that she's like, hey, this doesn't feel right. I don't want to get paid. Like, it seems like she's like, I don't want to get paid off my team. But again, this is the part of the business model that can't be changed. And it tells me just kind of where she's at. And I think that's really cool. But she's still going to get paid off of her team. Because again, that part of the comp plan's not going away. It's a multi-level marketing company. So she's going to increase her income, with selling and focusing on selling, but she's always going to have that piece of that income off of her team, And so I think that she hasn't figured this part out yet. I hope she does. I really do. I hope that she, can step away from this. And I could see her being somebody that helps people build their brand on social media. I think that would be really cool. I think this person could probably do whatever she wanted based off of her experience in multi-level marketing company. companies, but I don't think that she's there yet. She's, again, like I said earlier, she's kind of straddling that line a little bit. She's still getting paid off of her team and doesn't think that there's anything wrong with that. So it's like she doesn't have the awareness fully, in my opinion, how predatory that part of the comp plan is in multi-level marketing companies. So hopefully that makes sense.
Because they have different goals than you and they have different intentions, you know? Yes, this has been one of the healthier conversations I've heard. Yes, Kelly. I'm just here for all the healthiness. I'm just here for all the healthiness. I'm just not going to get into all of this stuff. You struggle to be present with individuals most more in your life, really present, noticing their laughs or smiles or quirks, all the little things you miss when you're consumed by the hustle. Yes, you just hug you. Yeah, this is like literally the perfect example of it. And it's, you know, again, I think that many people join with their own individual goals and their own individual dreams and ambitions and expectations and intentions, but then those get misconstrued whenever they start looking at other people's goals and intentions and activity and expectations. Here's the thing. This is the thing I hear the most. I'm friends with so many people. I'm friends with so many people in this industry and so many people in my company. And something I hear the most that I'm like, I want to shake people and be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you thinking? Is whenever someone's like, well, because we have influencers in our company, just like every company does, not just in direct sales, but heck, retail companies got them now through affiliate links. But they look at like these influencers with these very large followings and they're like, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. They're making all of this money and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why isn't it fair? Because they worked their butt off to get to that point. And their intentions and their goals may be different than yours. And if your goals and intentions are the same, then girlfriend, don't look at them. Just like go do the activity that it's going to take for you to get there too.
I agree with her to a certain extent. I think that, yes, build your social media, because social media, if in whatever brand you're wanting to build, is really important, period. However, I have a very strong opinion of influencers that join a multi-level marketing company, especially if they've been on social media for quite some time, which a lot of them have been, and then all of a sudden they're pitching this product and recruiting. To me, that feels very much like a bait and switch. And what I mean by that is these influencers have built their platforms off of whatever it is that they, you know, their brand is about. Maybe it's humor or whatever. And then all of a sudden they're pitching these products and this business opportunity. And that feels icky to me. You know, all of a sudden you're putting this product and this company that hurts people based off of the data from the FTC. 99.7% of people lose money or don't make any at all. You can look at whatever company's income disclosure statements to make it specific for each company. And these influencers, in my opinion, are looking at this going, oh my God, I could make so much money. And while they should be paid for their brand, they should be paid for their time and their creative energy and all of that stuff, absolutely. Partnering with an MLM, in my opinion, is so predatory. It is such a bait and switch. And these people that have followed them because they love their brand are joining. They're buying the product, they're joining the team, you know, and it's gross to me. I think that do affiliate marketing. And if you're an influencer yourself, research the company, ask some questions, just like we talk about in the movement. You know, ask for the income disclosure statement, ask for some of those things, you know, and do the research before you decide to join, because these followers and subscribers and the people that have chosen to follow you as an influencer they like you. They feel like they have a relationship with you, but then you're going to introduce this predatory business model to them, and that's your credibility on the line, you know? So I don't know. I don't like the fact that influencers, especially on TikTok, are joining these multi-level marketing companies, and then they're not talking about the company and they're being real sketchy. And it's very much a bait and switch kind of scenario, in my opinion.
Like, it's just like, so comparison is seriously the thief of joy. It's just, don't compare yourself to others, and your expectations and your intentions and your goals are yours and they're not anyone else's. And whenever you give them to someone else, you give your power away. Like, why would you do that? Looking at it in hindsight, it makes sense. But whenever you're in the moment, like, you're just running on that emotion, you know? So, all right, you guys,
I understand where she's coming from. We're gonna go ahead and end this now, because I think she's just closing up and stuff. But, you know, when you're in a multi-level marketing company, and you're within, you know, a team, an organization, at the end of the day, everybody is competing against one another. So that you might be sharing ideas, but there's always going to be people within that organization that are looking at you like this. How is she this successful in this area? And it is what it is, because everybody is trying to get ahead. Everybody is trying to hit the next rank or make the next income level or whatever. And it creates this culture of competition amongst one another, which is also what creates that kind of negative, I don't know. I can remember that very clearly. People acting like they are supportive, but then almost kind of like making these comments that seemed like they were a compliment, but there was something behind it that I was like, ooh, that doesn't feel right. And I think it's because, looking back, you're competing with people that you are recruiting. You're competing with the people on your team, and they're presenting it in a way like, oh, this is our family. We're a family. We're a family. No, you're trying to operate a business, even though they're 1099 contracted employees. We know that, but they're trying to operate this thing as a business, and all of them are doing the same thing. So when there's a new idea, it just floods the market, and everybody is doing the same thing. And whoever did it first is going to get the best results. And it's so cutthroat. I can look back now and go, oh my God, this was so cutthroat. So anyways, I loved this video. I loved the conversation, and I can relate to how I felt, you know, almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. I can remember thinking that I was going to do network marketing different, multi-level marketing different. I remember, you know, trying to focus on the products. I remember wanting to step away and do my own thing and create my own groups. And I was like, I'm just like she said, I'm just recreating everything that I was doing. Hers was in a previous company. Mine was still in the same company. I remember that was like super exciting for a little bit. And then it was like, wait, we're kind of doing the same thing. I don't like, this doesn't feel right. And that was when I really started to question. So it took a long time. If you are in an MLM and you're watching this going, oh my God, what do I do with this? How do I even process this? Step away, pause. And I don't even mean necessarily like right now, because as I said that, some of you probably freaked out. What I mean by step away is MLMs have a tendency to create this kind of chaos, this lack of stillness and quiet. And what I want to encourage you to do is to create stillness and quiet and step away from the chaos, so that you can ask yourself how you're feeling. Is this Zoom or the event that you're paying $1,000 to get to, does that make you feel good? Do you feel like you learned something from it? Do you feel like you're better after, you know, attending? Or do you feel like I was feeling, where I was actually getting stomach aches? And I'm like, I don't know why I'm getting stomach aches. I don't understand. And it was because my body was screaming at me, and I just wasn't creating stillness to process what I was feeling. So create some stillness, create some quiet. Ask yourself how you're feeling. Does this make me feel good? Or do I question myself and beat myself up because I'm getting on these Zooms, and after I feel like I'm just not doing enough, or I'm terrible, or I suck, or whatever? First of all, you do not suck at all. You're a beautiful, inspiring, powerful human being. You're in a business model that is destined for you to fail. It's not your fault. So I'm going to get off my soapbox. However, I appreciate you guys being here. If you loved this video, this commentary, this conversation, feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you be a part of this and drop your commentary. I can't wait to go back in on all of your comments. It's my favorite thing. If you'd like to become a member, if you'd like to follow me on social media, if you'd like to listen to my podcast, you can click the link in my video description here and check all of that out. I appreciate you guys so much. Please don't join an MLM. If you're looking to create some sort of a side hustle, an MLM, in my opinion, is not the way to go. You can do that through affiliate marketing. There's tons of ways that you can build your own brand on social media and do your own thing and not have to be sharing your profit with a big company, no pressure to recruit, and you can still be authentic to you. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what everybody wants. Hey, let's build a brand. Let's share products that we love, you know, and let's just create happiness in our life, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.